Welcome to NEREJ 101. I'm Rick Kaplan, and my guest today is Luiza Mills. She's the Vice President of Human Resources at Interstate Electrical Services. Hello, Luiza.
Good morning, Rick. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
That's great. So we want to find out a little bit about what Interstate Electrical Services is all about, first off, and a little bit about the human resource background you have.
Sure, of course. Well, Interstate Electrical, we like to say that we're 55 years young. We've been in we're looking forward to the next 55 years. So already planning ahead. Interstate was founded initially in Massachusetts, but we are throughout New England, and we are 600 family members strong is how we refer to it, of our internal Interstate family. Very proud of all of them. Our primary focus, we try to keep it simple, is we focus on installation, and we use all of the technology tools we possibly can, lean manufacturing, assembly, prefabrication, everything from detailing, coordination, design build, up through the end result for our external client. And those are services that we look forward to providing throughout the New England market.
Well, that's great. And I recall speaking with you about, I think I was speaking with you about also installing the charging stations for the electric cars. Is that something new?
We did. So I think, always touched upon that, but during the COVID pandemic with everything that was going on, we were trying to focus on new advances in training and technology. So we probably trained the largest installation force in New England. We have well over 100 to 200 people that are now fully certified to be able to install the EV chargers, which was pretty exciting.
Yes, and that's going to be something that's in heavy demand, I'm sure, coming in the future.
Absolutely.
So now, this is kind of an optimistic question because
Sure.
we're coming to a point of this pandemic, and the country seems to become to see a recovery, somewhat of a recovery, and with
Which
the vaccine and all that. So what do you see the biggest challenges now that things are starting to reopen?
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think that, as we know, when this pandemic struck, I'm sure everyone else, like with everyone else, we never imagined that here we are literally a year later still talking about it. And it's had such a domino effect on everything we've done. And I just remember early on, all of us as our management team, that everything was changing so frequently. It was every day that it was we were almost waiting for that next shoe to drop. So early on, we decided to just kind of take hold of the whole process, and our big focus was, how do we protect our team? We needed to persevere together throughout this entire process. Our goal was to keep everyone safe, informed, and of course, employed. Those were our three very basic but very important strategies that we needed to do. So aside from deploying everything from a COVID specific policy to by location, by office, by site specific, we also focused really hard on communicating. We communicated every day, trying to keep people informed on what was happening with the pandemic, and just so that everyone had a single source of communication coming in to play. We also focused heavily on training, and we, in addition to that, added an additional 3 weeks of paid time off on top of what we had. And the reason we did all of that was to prepare us so that as we got through this pandemic, what were the next things, so we wouldn't be that far behind either, in that our team would be intact and remain whole, not just work-wise, but personally as well on the home front. I would say probably the biggest challenge we're going to find today, which is, we're starting to see more of a trend of this, is, as we know, we need to continue to bring more people into the trades, and COVID definitely put a pause on that effect for all of us. All that natural recruiting and being out there talking to students, and everything just really kind of stopped for a long time. So I feel like there was momentum that was lost that we as an industry can't afford to lose. probably the biggest thing that you're going to start to see is maybe even in the smaller to mid-sized sector companies is everyone's getting anxious now. You know, everyone's getting nervous. They're trying to gain the momentum that they lost. So I think there's going to be more focus on perhaps poaching people versus trying to grow people to come into the trades naturally and organically. So I think that'll just start to pose a problem in general for a lot of people moving around, which I think is never a fun challenge for us, for anybody in that faction. Aside from that, I don't know if Interstate wants to view it so much as a challenge, but what we like to do is focus on, all right, what's this next phase? We've been dealt this hand of cards, so let's view it as what are our next opportunities that could come from this. You know, the world has been changed and it's not going to go back to what it was. We're all different now. So we want to view it now as what are those next things that we can do to help write the future history for all the next generations to come, and let's make it better. It's, you know, the next opportunities will be primarily advances in technology for us. Those are going to be the most productive thing that we can offer. That's part of what our dynamic team today will take, and it'll help them be safer on projects and bring these projects to life continuously, from everything from not just the projects today are becoming more and more complex. The shortage in labor, as we know, has not changed. Margins are getting tighter. Deadlines keep getting shorter. And we're in an infrastructure of in a world where it's an immediate need. Everything has to happen right away. And that's not going to change anytime soon. So any advance that we can make and continue to make in technology will be that next phase of opportunity for us.
You created so many questions for me during that, you know, and you know, one of the things that came out of what you just said is, you know, parents as well as I noticed, I've heard registrations in a lot of the colleges are down for the upcoming semesters, and you know, the parents have always tried to steer their children. You have to go to college. You have to go to college. Never pushing kids towards the trades. Which is kind of sad because the trades have been always a very good profession for a lot of people, and it's something that you know you can learn on the job, as well as you know there are trade schools to learn how to do certain things in the trades. So what do you say, you know, what are you going out to say? How do you get that message out? You know, come to the trades. And now with unemployment low, you know, or I should say unemployment high, and the registrations to upcoming semesters to colleges dwindling, you know, there might be some opportunities there.
Agreed. And it's, you know, I can understand how the aversion happened over it didn't happen overnight, but many, many decades, and of why people started to turn away from the trades. And it's actually kind of exhausting that we're still talking about this today, because it's such a misconception. It's an incorrect perception of the trades. I think people still view us as, you know, there's someone in front pulling a boulder by a rope, and that's the stigma that still exists. And the evolution of construction dates back through centuries. But again, it's still depicted in a very unsafe, very dated black and white photo concept of, you know, the iconic one is everyone on this, you know, beam where everyone's sitting having lunch, and, you know, they're, I don't know, 60 feet up in the air. That doesn't exist anymore. So, and it's interesting because construction is one of the most forward and progressive industries in the world. The trade makes up over 70% of the job market today. And the opportunities within our trade are so vast and so robust that they're very innovative. And it's just unfortunate that I think even just schools in general have gotten away from everything's testing to get you into college versus testing or restructuring programs to open up different opportunities for everyone. So one of the things that we try to do is not just obviously recruit for Interstate, but for the construction sector, we like to see it viewed as more of a career tree for everyone's future path. If you think about a tree, you look at this beautiful, strong tree that can last decades, centuries, and it grows and continues to grow over the years. That's actually what construction is. That is exactly what construction is. The opportunities are like those branches of a tree, and you basically, any branch you can grab, leads you into a different direction or different opportunities that exist in this one sector alone. So you can do anything from installation, engineering, design, build, coordination, manufacturing, assembly, IT, finance, project management, business development, procurement, HR, marketing, PR, logistics. I mean, the list of possibilities is so endless that it's just so interesting that we pigeonhole someone to go down one path. And generally that one path is very structured, and it's a very linear, almost, that's where that corporate ladder concept comes from. And you can only go from one ring at a time, where in construction, I mean, it's really, your options are limitless. Another example that we find so interesting is that the trades make up, I think it's less than 4% of women that are actually in the construction trade, which is insane. So it's, what is that ratio? It's like 20-to-1 ratio of men versus women. And I think that just is very telling of us as society. I think we need to do a better job, and we talk about empowering our future leaders of tomorrow, and women in particular are part of those leaders. And we focus so much on, okay, you can be a princess, and now we've incorporated the STEAM and STEM program, and oh, maybe you could be an astronaut. But why couldn't we also tell them that, why not be a project superintendent or a design engineer, and you could help build a skyscraper, and you can bedazzle it if you wanted to. But it just shows how we're such creatures of habit, and the infrastructure around that is, obviously conforms to that. And we really try to break those norms by talking to, before it was always high school, we try to go down to the elementary school level and hope that we open that little window of opportunity in someone's mind to perhaps think of doing something different down the line, and maybe it'll be in one of the trades.
Well, they should just definitely bring back the shops in the schools where they taught how to build, how to work as a mechanic, how to do electrical. All of that was taught in the schools at one point. Right. And I don't know why they moved away from it, probably because of budgets or whatever, that, or because everyone was pushing to colleges. I don't know. But, right. But that brings me to, you brought up a point why a lot of people, because of the safety reasons, that might not want to go into the trade. But construction sites have always had that kind of stigma of being kind of a hazardous type of job. So what trends do you see that mitigate these issues, that people working on these job sites, they probably won't see a lot of these hazardous or accidents like they used to years, and I'm talking 20 years ago.
Right. That is so true. And I think, and even today, when you walk by a job site, obviously it's closed for safety. It's closed to the general public for safety reasons. And you see the caution tape and the safety colors with the hard hats, and all for all the right reasons, of course. But if you really think about it, every time someone leaves their house, there's technically hazards all around us, right? You need to pay attention to your surroundings, and the more educated and the more empowered you are with how to make your life safe, that's what makes you more well-rounded. In our industry today, it works so much smarter and so much better. And again, it's definitely one of the most forward-thinking industries in the entire world. And we're not living in centuries past. So if our trades continue to be skilled and informed, they're empowered. And it's that same group of people that continue to make the advances to make their jobs better. They're not sitting there. No one wants to go to work today thinking, oh, I'm not going to be safe today. They're thinking they're coming up with the innovative ways to make our jobs better. So some areas of the new focus are all tied again. We keep tying back into technology, which drives everything, but there's a lot of software now. There's mobile apps, there's robotics, there's increasing advances in tools. Again, I keep picturing this like cave person with like a chisel and trying to, chisel away at this massive rock that doesn't exist anymore. There's advances in equipment and materials that continue to shape our industry, not just making us safer, but also more ergonomic, but also, there's the less wear and tear on our body. And if we think of all the generations coming into play, we have these amazing tenured legacy individuals who just get it. They've lived through all of it and they understand. And then you have all these other amazing people that are so much more techie savvy. And when you put the two together, I mean, it's just exciting to see the new advances that are out there that really you're not working the same way you were before.
So this is a great time that, because all our kids, they're just sitting around. They're playing video games. They're playing on their phone. They're or tablets or whatever they want. Their computers. All of these electronics that we didn't have many years ago, and they love them. They love to play with these things. So and now with the trades, I mean that's almost like you can take your video game to work with you.
You literally could, actually, and that's such a great way to put that together. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I think kids would love to be in the trades right now.
I agree. Now it's such a great time to come into the trade. It's funny, when we think of advances in technology, most people gravitate towards, or they think of medical, which of course that makes so much sense because it's the most talked about headline, but it impacts everyone. Everyone has health and wellness to think about, whether it's for themselves or their family. And that's the comfort of what they read and gravitate towards. But again, as I was saying before, technology and construction is actually the fastest, or one of the fastest growing sectors out there. It's the most innovative in the world. And even as of recent, probably the biggest recent push, which is what you're referring to, is what we call digital construction. And there's so much that just continues to move towards the cloud. So for example, there's the BIM technology, which is not that new for our construction sector, but it is when it moves towards the cloud, and now everything is, remote in that aspect. There's what they call digital twinning. There's augmented reality. It's a mouthful. There's virtual reality. There's geotechnology, sensor technology, drones, 3D printing, artificial intelligence, robotics. We keep hearing about the robotic dog from, I think, Boston Scientific. There's so many value-added time-saving items, also like analytics and things to do with just material coordination and inventory management, and just moving things through, like from stock replenishment. And for us in particular, the advances that we continue to find in prefabrication is just phenomenal, because again, it just ties into working smarter and working on the stuff that's more value add, and removing that waste or that risk from the job component. And a lot of that is done through technology. So you're constantly touching, whether it's on your handheld device or an iPad of sorts, or your computer. It's just very interesting. And what I love about Interstate the most is that we're always moving in that direction. We're very fortunate to have an amazing and talented team that's, knowledgeable and experts. And it's through their feedback that we're able to implement these items and then have them go out and try to break them and tell us how they can make their job, even if it's 5% better today for them, that's 5% better today than it was yesterday. And it leads to that internal quality that they all need, everybody needs. And it also then has that domino effect for the end result, which is our client. So it's a win-win across the board. So
there must be opportunities out there for a lot of young people that might be watching this or even hear about this. So Interstate also offers some form of apprenticeship. Is that correct? Tell me a little bit about the apprenticeship.
We do. We're so excited about it. We wish we could bring in 10 times the apprentices we have. And obviously we are very adherent to the state regulations and capacity ratios, but we offer co-op opportunities, internships, and of course our apprenticeship programs. And we have two. We have our electrical apprenticeship program, and then newer to us within the last couple of years, and it was the first at the time in the state, our assembler apprenticeship program. So we try to bring people in from different sectors also. So on both fronts, we pay for their schooling, and at the same time, they're working at Interstate. So they're getting also their on-the-job training while they're not only getting paid into their full career and already working in their full career, but they're also getting benefits. They continue to grow, and there's different opportunities that continue to exist for them within our organization. So we're always really excited about that. We also partner with local schools, vocational programs, colleges, universities, workforce development, and many organizations such as, that of, well, we always try to partner with the New England Real Estate Journal, but also ABC and GCI to make sure our team gets the best training, mentoring, and foundation so that they can have any door or sector that's open to them within this trade.
So now if someone is interested in becoming an apprentice for Interstate, how would they get in touch with you?
That's a great question.
Is it you that they would get in touch with you, or that they have to fill out some kind of a application somewhere and then you would get in touch with them? Tell me the process.
Sure. Well, we always tell someone, if you see an Interstate truck or someone with an Interstate shirt, just flag them down and ask them about the company. And even if they're having a bad day, we're very confident that they still will tell you that it's a great company and they feel respected, which is all that we could ask for. So that's always a great way to get a full hands-on, ask any questions you want of someone that actually works for the company. But what they can do is they can either go to our website, which is iesc1.com, and they can go to the career page and reach out to us. They can send anyone in our management team, especially myself, a direct email or call us, and we're more than happy. We bring them in. We can do it safely, obviously, through a virtual session if easier for everyone as well. And we talk to them. We call it a meet and greet versus an interview, because we want them to meet us and we want to greet them and get them have them answer any questions, I should say, that they have. And then from there, we talk about what opportunity fits best for them.
That's all been fantastic, Luiza. There's so much information. If I didn't love the company before, I love it even more now. And this apprenticeship opportunity is a great thing for young people to look into, to find out a little bit more. Maybe it could be a step for a great career, so. But I appreciate your time this morning. We're talking with Luiza Mills. She's the Vice President of Human Resources at Interstate Electrical Services. Thank you, Luiza.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the time. I appreciate it.